Louisville football head coach Jeff Brohm. Welcome to Athlete Unscripted.
Okay, thank you for having me.
I know your time's limited, so I really appreciate you taking the time. You know, obviously the season's right around the corner, so we're just going to jump right into it. But we're not going to talk about football to start off. We're actually going to shed some light on a part of your life that I don't think a lot of people talk about, and that's baseball. You were selected in the MLB draft coming out of high school, but you decided to turn that down and come play football here at U of L. What made you decide to do that? I mean, in your 18-year-old self saying, hey, I don't want to go pro and play baseball. I want to play at the collegiate level and play football.
Well, honestly, I wasn't very educated on the whole process back then. I was a youngster just playing sports and enjoyed doing that. And that's kind of was my life, going to school and playing sports and hanging out with family and a few buddies every now and then. But, back then, you didn't have social media. I really didn't even know when the baseball draft was, how it worked. You finish your football season. I was recruited pretty heavily there and ended up choosing Louisville and thought that was the best decision for me. And then all of a sudden this baseball thing came about and a lot of scouts start showing up, and then a lot of scouts start showing up for a lot of my Optimist games. And then they start telling me things that I'm like, okay, you want to draft me here, here, and that. And it sounded great, but I didn't really know how it worked. Football was probably my favorite sport, even though I like baseball, I like basketball. So I just think because I was young and not educated on it, football was the obvious choice. But as you look back on it, I don't know, one could have gone the other way and maybe went well. But I'm glad I did it, and I enjoyed playing all sports.
Did your parents advise you or kind of help you work through that process at all?
Well, they did. My parents were probably a little overwhelmed by it all and taken in by it. And, they were excited that I was staying home to play football. Then this baseball thing came and, they were kind of enjoying that aspect quite a bit too, eating that up. And even though they loved baseball and it sounded great, I think they just, they wanted me to stay close to home. So that probably factored into the decision a little bit. But it was a tough decision. And I just think that in the end, staying close to home and trying to build something here in my hometown in football and do something special there probably was the priority, just because I was kind of brought up close with my family, and I come from a big family as well that, all my relatives, pretty much all of them still live in the city. So I just think it was a decision that they all felt comfortable with, and I'd say it's the easy decision, probably was, but I'm glad I did it.
So fast forward to more recent years. You made a name for yourself in professional sports, and you've built a very impressive coaching resume. And now you're back here in your hometown. What was it like returning to Louisville in December of 22 as the head football coach here?
I took a journey after playing, on a bunch of different NFL teams where you're in different cities, living really outside the city of Louisville, but I always came back when I had a chance. And consider Louisville my home. And then as you get into coaching, then that becomes even more of a carousel, a little bit of, I started out, in this area and kind of moved around a little bit to some different spots, and then finished at Purdue there for a little bit. And then the Louisville job came open early, and just the timing wasn't right, even though my family and a lot of people wanted me to come back. And then to get it to come open again, I think not only was I probably ready, but my kids were, my wife was, and we had some good years where we were at, but I think it was time to get back and try to do something special here. But when you're looking at afar, coming back has a lot of responsibility. There's some pressure that you don't want to let anybody down. All the people that are going to expect you to win and do great things. So there is more pressure to win, but I put that on myself regardless. But yes, I don't want to let the people down here. We're here to build a championship team, to build a winning team, to try to do it every year and build a consistent team that performs at high levels. And that's what we're here to do. And I think, when you're here in your hometown, you go the extra mile, you go the extra yard, you put in the extra time to make sure that you can look in the mirror at night and say, look, I've done everything I could to help us prepare and get ready to go. But I do think it means a lot. It goes a long way when the coach is from the town. Sometimes when a nucleus of your players are from the hometown where you're going to go above and beyond to do everything you can to help this team win, and that's what we're trying to do now.
You want to make an impact, and I think also an aspect in there is the loyalty you have to this program. I mean, just looking at Card Nation, how much they welcomed you back with open arms, hometown hero. What impact has Card Nation's love and appreciation for your loyalty to the program made on you and your family?
Without question, the city's been great to me and my family. I think that growing up, you give as much as you can to do something special and to build a winning team and to achieve your goals and to do it in your hometown and elevate the program. It's fun. It means a little bit more, like I said. And then to come back and do the same thing in coaching is a lot of fun too. But these people are great here. And I think, even though I have a big immediate family, my father's one of 9, my mom is one of 6 or 7, my mom's mom is one of 15. Anyone that wants to be a part of our program and as a fan, we consider all of them family. And I just think that's what makes this city special is we know so many people amongst the community that want to see Louisville football and basketball and all the sports and the university have success and they want to do their part and support it in any way they can. And that's what makes it great is knowing all those individuals, them patting you on the back when things are going them picking you up a little bit when maybe things aren't going as well. It just really feels like a team concept that everyone is a part of it. It's not like you're isolated and you only know a few people. No, I know everyone, and everyone kind of knows me to a certain degree. So it just really means that much more. But it helps really yourself and others maybe dig a little deeper to get it done.
And the other athletic programs here, it's just one big community that you're also a part of. I mean, we see you at baseball games, basketball games. Is that you supporting other athletic programs here, or is that just because you're a Louisville fan at heart?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. So I'll give some credit where credit's due. My son Brady, he's got a big personality and he loves all sports. And even if I didn't want to, he's going to make me go to a lot of things because he loves the people here and he loves to get to know the coaches and the players on all the different teams. So that's one of the big reasons to be around my son. The other one is sure, I enjoy all sports, men's and women's, any type of sport you can. I enjoy watching and supporting them. And then when you get to the coaches, when you get to know the coaches, they're going through some things too where it's a lot of work. You got to really invest and it's not easy. You got to really do your part. You got to be sharp. You got to motivate your players. You got to be able to be optimistic when things maybe aren't going as well. So I know what they're going through. So all we try to do is support them and let them know that we're going to cheer them on and help them elevate their team and their staff and their players. And I just think it all goes well when people get along and they support each other. So we enjoy doing it, but I do think it helps the morale of everyone amongst the university.
Absolutely. And your son, Brady, you just brought him up, and I want to talk about him. But first, I want to talk about your daughter, Brooke. There was a viral photo on Twitter or X of her after the Sun Bowl championship, just looking up at you with admiration in her eyes. How does she push you and motivate you every single day in what you do as her dad, having her as your daughter, just looking up to you and being a star in her eyes?
Well, I'm proud of my daughter. Sometimes when you move around a lot, it can be a little bit challenging, but sometimes it can be a little easier on the coaches and myself than it is on my kids. I think my kids have handled it well. They've enjoyed meeting new people and experiencing new things. But coming back home where my name carries a little respect and people kind of know it, there's some pressure on them to be the best at what they can do, and they carry that very well. But it's not easy because you kind of come in, and even though I'm from here, they haven't lived here as much. So that getting to know everyone and building that trust and those relationships takes work. So I'm proud that they've been able to work through that and find a path. But my daughter she enjoys a lot of things. She enjoys being around sports as well and family and friends. She's at that age where she's starting to enjoy a whole lot of things that I'm trying to pull her back a little bit. So to kind of encourage her to do things that I want her to do. If she asks me to do a TikTok every now and then, I jump in there just to kind of do my part. I don't love doing it, but I try to support her as much as I can. But she's a good young girl, and she's going to continue to grow and mature, and I think she's going to have a great career.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those TikToks. I think it's great, and it really shows your all's relationship and almost brings out a softer side of you because many people just view you as coach, but it's like you're also a dad. So that's a really important piece there. Moving on to your son, Brady. He's just 20 years old, and he already knows he wants to be a GM. That's what he's been saying. How do you view that, and how do you help him take steps to reach that goal one day?
Well, I have a lot of family involved with Brady. He's my son. He loves being over here. I think the main thing he loves is all the other people, not necessarily being around me, but all the other coaches and players and of our staff and all the sports here. He just enjoys that aspect and getting to know people. He's really big in trying to help others out. It kind of makes him feel good when he can help others out and lend a helping hand. He's great at it. He goes out of his way to do that. Then that's kind of what he spends his time doing. And of course, at the same time, he's going to school here and he's got to get a degree and he understands that. But he puts a lot of hours and work in here, and we don't pay him anything other than a couple meals here and a couple free trips. But he loves it and he just enjoys it. And he kind of gives you that mechanism of honesty that you wouldn't get from some others that kind of maybe just tell you a few things so they don't get on your bad side. He'll tell me what I don't like to hear sometimes, and he'll get on me, and sometimes he's not right, but sometimes he is. But he's very honest, and he's wants his program to do well, and he wants everyone to succeed. So I appreciate and respect all the work he puts in. And like I said, he just loves all the other people on our staff and players, and he just enjoys being around that all day long. I mean, he a lot of times is here longer than I am, and I'm here quite a bit, but he'll get here before me and leave after. I'm like, son, you got to get home at some point. It's bedtime coming up.
You have to balance being the coach here and him kind of volunteering around the facilities and game days and everything, but then also being dad. On the flip side of that, you've got Brian and Greg that are also on the coaching staff here at Louisville. How do you guys draw the line between, okay, we're brothers right now, or okay, we're coworkers right now, or does it just all blend together?
Without question, there's some pluses, and then there's some things that you need a little space. So you're not going to get a whole lot of that because my brothers are always around, and it kind of works kind of like a typical older and younger brother. My older brother probably gives his opinion a lot and displays that. And a lot of times he's really smart. So a lot of times it's really good. And sometimes you're like, hey, man, I'm tired of listening to all this. Let me just make a decision and go with it. And then my younger brother, I give him credit. He plays that role very well. He doesn't step on our toes. He allows us to get on him a little bit and get after him as older brothers. He handles it very well. He's soft-spoken, but he's extremely intelligent and he works really hard. And I just think he understands the dynamic of older brother and younger brother. So I just think it's good because you have some honest opinions once again, where that's kind of what I get more so than the normal head coaches. I'm getting some honest opinions from a lot of people, and a lot of times they're telling me things I don't really want to hear or agree with, but they're at least expressing and challenging the things you think of and that may work, and it helps you kind of get to the best decision considering all the options. So I think they all play a role and a purpose, and once again, they all want this university to do well. So I know they're in it for the right reason, but it can be some long days when all your brothers are around a lot.
Yeah, because they don't hold back. I mean,
No,
they're your brothers.
You're correct.
They're going to be honest. Well, you talk a lot about what they bring to the program, and those are all incredible things. But one thing that I think anybody that's a fan of you and Louisville football knows is that you have the passion. There's evidence of it looking back at your time playing football in the XFL. During a game, we can look back and see that you got a hard hit, your helmet came off and was sideways on your head. You came back out on the sidelines in a neck brace, and then just a couple days later, you were starting a game. You were back out there on the field. You said, and I quote, "Do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football." Is that your mentality when it comes to coaching?
I think so. I mean, I do understand today's age is different. Today's players are different, and I've tried to adapt. I try to be a player's coach and understand all the things they're going through. And some guys are easy to coach, others are a little more challenging, but they all come from different backgrounds. So I think you got to support all of those young men to help them achieve their goals. And some of them will take no missteps along the way. Others will take quite a few, but you don't want to throw anyone to the side. You want to continue to coach them and lift them up and to help them be the best they can be. And back in my day, it was more old school. You played football, you were tough. It didn't matter if you got hurt. You showed back up again, did it again. And you didn't back down. And that's just kind of one of the things you taught. And that was before the concussions were a big thing. So you got hit in the head and you kind of shook it off. And you might wobble a little bit while you walk, but you get back out there and do the best you can.
Let's play football.
And so I think, football is a different game where, unlike some of the other sports, you do have to have toughness and intensity and passion for the game and the ability to fight through things and physically and mentally it's challenging. To do that, you kind of have to, if you're a super nice guy when you're away from the field, that's fine, but you got to turn that switch on when you get on the field. And other guys, they turn that switch on, they keep it on more because it's hard to turn off, which it sometimes is. But to play the game, you really got to want to win. But I think if everyone is playing their heart out and with everything they got, you're going to have a good chance to win when everyone's bonding together and helping each other do that. So yes, I do want our guys to play that way. I want them to have their own personality when they do it. I want them to have their own personality off the field. I want them to know that, if they talk a lot, they don't talk a lot, that's fine. We want to support them. And I want myself and all of our coaches to do that because I just think today players need that. They need that guidance. They need that support. And we need to give it to them. But if we're doing that, man, they will play for you and they will do it old school wise because they believe in you and then you're going to help them along the way and help them get to their final destination.
That's so good. And I love what you just said because on and off the field, they need you. They're looking up to you. They're listening to you speak every single day. How are you guiding them, directing them, and life coaching them?
Fortunately, football is a game that really can teach you life skills that will last a long time. And it's not easy. I mean, the physicality of it, the mental toughness you need, the intelligence you need as well to study and to learn and to be able to react to things that happen throughout the course of the game at all positions. It's challenging and it's not easy. And you can coach and play for a long time, but you're still not going to be perfect at it. So, along the way, you can be the guy one day and the next day someone else can be the guy. So you got to fight for your job. You got to fight to be the best you can be. You got to go through some ups and downs and, those things carry way beyond the game. So I just think as we, coach up our players and we help them have success on the field, we do realize that all these things carry over to real life. And you have to, when you get married and have kids, you have to be supportive of them. And you've got to obviously, you want to do things your way that you believe in, but at the same time, if someone has other opinions, you got to listen and you got to work together. And sometimes it's not going to be all your way. So I just think those things, if we're treating our players that way, if they know that we're going to be understanding to a certain degree and listen when they talk and try to come to a conclusion as much as we can that works for all, they will continue to do that when they're leading other people and when they have a wife and a spouse and kids and understand that, it's not easy. As youngsters, we all think we're right, but we got to be able to listen as well and learn along the way. So I just think it all carries over. We try to have an atmosphere here where everyone knows that we're in this together and we'll have a few hiccups along the way, but man, as long as we still keep reaching for the stars and trying to earn it every day and not take any shortcuts, we can get there.
Coaching on the field, you're one of the nation's most innovative offensive minds in the country and with personal experience as quarterback and as coach. Plus, you've been in the exact same shoes or cleats as your guys with Louisville written across your jerseys. I mean, does that have an impact or play into how you coach here?
I think so. I think all those things matter. And I've been fortunate enough to, yes, play the quarterback position, which requires a lot of work, a lot of study, to not only play it at a high level, but to play with great players in the National Football League, to play with them, underneath them at times, to be around great coaches in the National Football League and to be around a lot of different teams and then throughout the college ranks as well. You just learn things along the way. So being a quarterback definitely helps, learning what I don't like and do like along the way, and that what did work and maybe what didn't has really helped get to me where I'm at right now. And at the same time, the game is always evolving and changing. And if there's one thing I probably do with my habits in the free time that maybe I should be playing golf, but I study the game. And I just think as a play caller, someone who's trying to help your offense score points and your team do well, you got to constantly study the game, and you got to put in the time and the effort. And yeah, sure, your coaches do and your players do, but the head coach does. And I think, as a head coach, it's my job to outwork every other head coach in America. Not talk about it, not brag about it, but behind the scenes, I need to make sure I'm doing that. And if I do, once again, I can look in the mirror at night and say, you know what, I did about everything I could today. But it makes you sleep well. It makes you get up the next day feeling confident, knowing that you can help these guys and help them, win games and achieve some things that they maybe never thought they could. So it's just a constant everyday chore that you do, and you wake up and you get at it again, and you help your guys have fun along the way doing it, because it is a game. While we want to win and support, it is a game. So we want to enjoy it and have fun with it. And I think the more fun our guys have, the harder they're going to work.
You do your part so they can do theirs. Looking ahead, you have a very powerful class that's come in for the new season that is so close. I mean, the excitement's building, the city can feel it. Heading into year 3 here at Louisville as head coach, what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned in your first 2 years?
Every year's new. We're going to reach for the top every year, and it doesn't matter who we have or what happened the year before. So being able to constantly come back with that same hunger, no matter how the year went before, is important. At the same time, I just really feel like you have to learn from your mistakes, and you have to analyze them, and you just can't put it behind you and move on without really understanding why did this not work or what went wrong. So we've tried hard. That's what I believe. In the off season, we study, why did we lose the game and where did it go wrong and what could we have done better? And we go back and we rehash that over and over again, so that hopefully it doesn't happen again. Now, is it going to? Well, occasionally it may, but you really got to just try to not commit those same mistakes. There might be something new that comes up, obviously, and then you have to have answers when problems arise and have a solution when something's happening where you can adjust right away. So that's our job as coaches, is to make sure we're fully prepared. The thing I've learned is, man, we've been really close at times, but at the same time, we've been really close in some wins. So every little thing matters, every little detail, and you got to just make sure that you hone in on correcting those and making sure that you're on the same page with everyone, and we all understand that it's going to take our best on game day as coaches and players to win. And if there's a slip up here and there, you may not be able to overcome it, but you got to continue to press forward.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. It is such an honor to have you on Athlete Unscripted, and good luck this season.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Athlete Unscripted. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an exclusive episode and you stay in the know on all things athletics. I'll see you next time.